little thing that says going live?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know who can see us, but I'm excited to have you all on this call. Please pull up Q&A. If you scroll your cursor over, and you guys can let me know too, our guest speakers, if you all can see the the blue and white chat, then there's also the Q&A on the side. If you guys click that, you should be able to log questions for us all as we go. And sorry, I'm looking at a couple different screens to see where the questions are popping up. Also, if you don't seem to see your question go in during this hour, I encourage you to go to the events page on Facebook for this event, and you can also log it there. So what I'm going to do tonight is, super excited, it's the first time we've done it in this format. Instead of, you guys have heard my story, and instead of hearing more facts and figures, I really wanted you guys to be able to hear the inside stories in our team, because that's what makes our team so special, is all the really cool, interesting, sometimes heartbreaking, sometimes inspiring, but the stories that we've all become literally like best friends over and been there for each other through. So I found two veteran coaches who are the superstars in our team. I think they're just absolutely amazing leaders, and an emerging brand new leader, Erin, who's been in our team for about 4 or 5 months, and she's just so positive, and I love her energy. So I wanted her to speak and give her perception of, you know, our trainings and how it's been being welcomed into the team, and so you guys can get kind of a newbie's point of view. So before we start anything, I am just going to make sure we are going live and checking our events, see if any of you guys are saying that you can see this. Sorry, Coach Q&A. Let's check it. So if somebody maybe is in Coach Q&A in that event, if they could just say that they see us, that would help me a ton. But we are going to start, first things first, with Kristen Elizabeth is the way I think of her, but it's Kristen Gherkin. She was, I think, one of the first 2 working coaches that I signed, and I didn't know her from anybody. And so I had set my profile to public, and she had seen a friend of hers comment on one of my posts and contacted me. We spoke for months, and then finally she bought a challenge pack and said she wanted to sign as a discount coach for the discount on Shakeology. But about 4 or 5 days later, she changed her mind and started selling. She was a physical therapist, so she understands the body, she understood this, and she just took off and just ran with this opportunity. She has been a coach for 2.5 years, so like I said, her and I and Emily, we started this team just when it was a couple of us in the page, and it exploded, and we all had so much fun with it. So we've all seen it from the tiny workings to how it's grown now, and it's been a really fun journey to do it together. So like I said, she's been a coach for 2.5 years. She's a 1-star diamond coach. She has a 1.5-year-old and a 3-year-old. She has a crazy busy job, so she's fit this in for the last 2.5 years and made an amazing income with it as a secondary income, even while having 2 young children, working crazy hours. Like I said, she leaves the house at an ungodly hour, which I think I'm just getting up in the morning. So I am just going to turn it over to her, and as she speaks, if you guys have questions for her, post them either in the Q&A in here, in the chat, or in the events page. I'm going to write them down, and then I'll read them off to her at the end, and then we'll go on to our other 2 speakers. So over to you, Kristen.
Thanks, Jamie. I apologize. I've lost my voice. I've done so much talking today. But I'm honored to be on this call, and you've said a lot about kind of how I got started. Originally, I loved Shakeology. I thought I couldn't afford it, and my mother-in-law had given me a whole bunch of Shakeology, and then I was hooked. So I needed a way that I could afford it, and that's why I signed up as a discount coach. I didn't even tell you I was signing up as a coach. I just knew that I wanted the discount. It saved me about $25, $30 a month, and since I was drinking all the time, that's what I wanted to do. I also had an 8-month-old baby at the time when I signed up, and I had no time to make breakfast, and I knew I needed to do something so that I could be healthy myself. And my story is crazy and long, and we have 5 hours for this call, and I could take all 5 hours if you wanted to listen, but I'll spare everybody 5 hours of my my life. and I'll just tell you a little, like, I'll do a little timeline of the really big, I guess, the markers that have really defined my journey as a coach. So I started in July of 2013, and I really signed up only for the discount. And a week later, Jamie just encouraged me, said, why don't you get some friends to join you on this journey? So as a Mary Kay salesperson failure, I never wanted to ever sell anything to anybody. And I pretty much gave away all the makeup I ever had as a Mary Kay sales representative. But with this is a little different. I really love the products, and I did want people to hold me accountable, and I wanted to do this with a group of people because I'd missed the gym. So I asked people on Facebook if anybody wanted to join me, and I think I had 5 different couples. I was lucky. I had 5 different couples want to do T25 with me. So before I knew it, I had a challenge group, my first challenge group, and we were doing great for a month. And then my father-in-law died tragically. So through traveling and all the heartache that went on with that, I kept my Shakeology with me. I did T25. I took the DVDs with me, and I kept up with it. And I was determined that I was going to be successful. I had gained 60 pounds when I was pregnant with my son, and I hadn't lost it all. So I was really determined that I wanted to be fit again and feel healthy. So when we returned back to Florida, where we live, after the funeral and everything, it was about 13 or 14 days later, my husband was hit while riding his motorcycle. And I talk about your world being turned upside down. I really didn't know what to do. I felt like everything was falling apart. But one thing I did through it all that was really consistent is I stayed consistent with the 3 vital behaviors, which was part of the Beachbody business. I worked out, I drank Shakeology, and I did some personal development. And a lot of that personal development included working with my teammates. And our team at the time was very small, but I got to know Jamie and Emily really well, and I opened up to them. And actually, they ended up listening to all of my stories and my heartaches and through my tears. They were so supportive, and I barely knew them, and we just clicked. And from there, the real friendship began. And I realized that these were some of the most inspirational and uplifting people I'd ever been around. And that was the whole team mentality, from our big team Diesel Nation to our smaller team of Diamond Fire. And it just it became like family, and I loved it. And to make a really long story short, Corey ended up in the trauma hospital here in Florida, and then he ended up in the rehabilitation hospital following that. Corey had been the primary breadwinner of our family, so money had never been that big an issue to me. But it went from a large income from him to nothing. So I tried to maintain my job at the hospital, and I am doing that, but we didn't have the cash for daycare anymore that we had, because normally we had just paid it very simply. I thought daycare was almost cheap, and I had to rely on my Beachbody money to pay for daycare. And then it really occurred to me that I needed to start working harder, because I was dependent on the money that I was making from Beachbody, and it really was a blessing. And fast forward to now, I've definitely had ups and downs with my business and in my life. I've had a second baby, work, my 9-to-5 job has had ups and downs, and there's nothing like having the consistent support of your team and people to encourage you and inspire you every day. And I have been healthier than I've ever been in my entire life, probably on the inside and out, because of this team specifically. I know there's so many other teams, but that's kind of like I feel just blessed to have seen a post on Facebook and become part of Team Diamond Fire. And if there's nothing else and no other reason than your own health and fitness and you want to have a discount, I would recommend just becoming a coach on this team because of the support and because of the positive energy and the positive vibes that you get every day. And that's really all I have, Jamie. Thank you.
You are welcome. And I just have to bring up that one time I saw you post, like, throughout Corey's struggles, you know, Kristen's created a very nice income with Beachbody, stayed true to it. And the day that she posted that she paid off her student loans as well, like, at the same time helping with his medical bill, she paid off her student loans, you know, and plus she's in amazing shape, you know, and now I get to know Corey and her like good friends, you know, even though they're a couple hours away, you know, we do get together. So it's been such a blessing too. And now that it's a real friendship, it's not just this person I met online, we get together with our team and we make that a priority, which I absolutely love. All right, so thank you. And I know you're not feeling good, so if you need to dip out, you go for it.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to hand it over now to Erin Chick. She is the cutest little bubble of sunshine, and she has been a coach, like I said, for about almost 5 months. She is an Emerald coach now, and she has a, sorry, I don't want to get the ages wrong, a 6- and a 4-year-old, so she's busy. So I'd love to hear, Erin, just your journey when you first came into the team, what you thought of the training, everything. So you go for it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate you asking me to be here. I have to say I was so nervous. This is out of my comfort zone, but I knew I had to do it because that's how you grow, and that's what the business is all about. So, yeah, I married my high school sweetheart, and we live in Nebraska. We got 6 inches of snow today, so that was lovely. And I'm a stay-at-home mom. I used to be a teacher, and that was something that I really wanted to do. And I found Beachbody through my coach, Jessica. We are in the same MOPS group together, which is a Mothers of Preschoolers group. And I sat with her at a table, and she was just so bright and bubbly and positive and just somebody that I really wanted to get to know. And I knew she was really into fitness, and I was really struggling trying to get back my confidence after nursing. I had gained back some of the baby weight I had lost from nursing. And so I just kind of talked to her about what she was doing because I had seen her post on Facebook about her challenge groups. And so she sent me information on 21 Day Fix, and I kind of hemmed and hawed because for me it was a lot of money to spend on myself since I was a stay-at-home mom. So I gave it a go, and I absolutely fell in love with it, and I fell in love with Beachbody, and I just enjoyed working out and doing something for myself. And my husband surprised me, and he took me on a trip to Mexico, so that really pushed me to get my bikini body back. And people were starting to ask me, like, hey, what are you doing? You're looking great. And so I started to share. And my coach approached me and just said, hey, have you ever thought about the coaching opportunity? You're basically doing what I do. I was interacting in the challenge groups and posting often, and I was winning prizes from her. And I thought, there is no way I could do what you're doing. No thanks. I'll just keep doing this. But it was always in the back of my mind. So I just kind of kept thinking about it. And probably a year after I had been in her challenge groups, she had posted one night late that she was looking for some people to join her team as coaches. And that was right at the end of summer. And I was kind of, after staying home for 6 years, I was kind of getting the itch to do something for myself besides just being a mom and a wife at home. I thought about maybe substitute teaching, but then I'd have to find daycare for my daughter who is still at home, and it just didn't make sense to do that. And so I thought, well, maybe I could do that. And then she offered an incentive, and this sounds really silly, but she was offering a gift card to Target, and I took it because I love Target. And so that's really what, it just kind of fell in my lap like that, just kind of randomly. And I just, the first month, I probably took some time to just ask questions. I read a lot on the coach back office, and she posted my coming out story on Facebook, and I posted one of my own, and people just started sending me messages and emails just, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds awesome. I went in on that. So I decided to start my own challenge group this past October, and it's been a lot of fun, and it's been really rewarding to help people begin their lifestyle changes, and it's just been such a positive support system. I've never felt alone. I feel comfortable asking questions anytime, and someone's always available to ask questions to help me get started. So that's kind of how I got into Beachbody and coaching business.
Let me unmute myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
So, is it different than what you thought it would be?
I don't think it's any different than I thought it would be. The time commitment, I've been able to just fit it in with whatever works in my day. I get up early to do my workouts, and I take some time then to post in my challenge group and answer any emails. And then I try to log out for the morning as much as I can to take the kids to school and do the mom stuff, and then I'll log back in over lunch, and then usually log out for the afternoon, and then usually after they go to bed, I'll work on it some more. So it's kind of nice that you can just make it work for you.
Exactly. And I do have to bring up that you won our post-writing workshop. So do you think, like, because I know one of the biggest questions I get from people is, I don't understand social media, like, I don't know how to go about this, and I like to try to reaffirm to them that, like, in our training, we go over all of this. Like, you're not left high and dry whatsoever, and, like, we walk you through every step. So did you feel like we helped you, like, figure out how to post, how to not be salesy and be organic with it?
Yeah, for sure, because that was one thing when I first signed up. I was like, I don't want to be like all those other people that are trying to sell stuff on Facebook. Like, I want to be authentic and genuine and still be myself about it, because I don't know, I just wanted to help people and not like be so pushy with them. And one thing I know, Jamie, you told me that really stuck out was to just be yourself, but also make sure people know that you have a business and you're not just in love with working out. And I kind of think that that's how my posts were going. I was just posting pictures of like sweaty selfies and stuff, but people weren't making the connection that I was a coach. So through that training, I think it really helped me just learn about how to make the posts more genuine and authentic towards the business, and then also balance it out with posts of my kids and my family and my personal life. So yeah, going through those trainings, like that was probably the first month I really jumped in and got involved in the training. So I would say to anybody that signs up as a coach to just jump on board and just really get involved and ask questions and do as many trainings as you can.
Yep, and I'm so glad you said that, because I know I've said this in the videos for anybody in the Expo who's seen it, but I made every mistake possible my first year, 2 years even, because we didn't have a training system yet with Beachbody. And, through our upline Diesel Nation, we formed those trainings, merged with our own, and I feel like we've really gotten it down to a science now, and there's no guesswork. You're not going to make those mistakes because we kind of like team you up as partners now, and you can look at your partners and say, well, maybe I don't think that post worked, but this will help you. So it's like, it's such a learned thing, social media is, even just as much as learning how to be a coach. You're now using social media and taking yourself from a mom or a normal person into all of a sudden a Beachbody coach, and you have to do it organically and not just one day 5 posts about Beachbody, and scare people off. So, it's a fine line there. And so what's your husband? Has he seen any changes in you think, in the last couple months, like attitude-wise?
Yeah, I think I've always tried to be like a positive person, but yeah, and like the extra money, I'm not making, a ton to begin, maybe an extra $50 to $100 a week right now, but we're putting that in a little envelope to surprise the kids to take them to Disney World. So just little things like that is kind of nice, and it's nice to have something for myself, honestly, to give me something to work on at night or in the afternoon while my daughter is resting, and so it's been fun. Yeah, he's very supportive, and I really appreciate that. So And,
that's awesome.
Having a Beachbody gives you a stronger marriage. So.
Yes. I know my marriage was not doing so well before Beachbody. Not that Beachbody solves all your problems, but like one thing, it just gave me this happiness. And he just kept saying, God, you just seem so happy. Like you have your passion back again, your excitement for life again. Like I was goal driven for the first time again. And, it's just such a positive, uplifting thing. And the fact of with Beachbody, we really stress personal development, reading books, listening to podcasts, and that helps all areas of your life. Even at Summit, like you haven't been to your first Summit, you'll see, and for any of you on the call, when you go to Summit, like the workshops, a lot of them are tailored to helping our marriages and helping our relationships, which I think is so amazing that like it's not at Summit all about learn about our programs. It's Shalene and Lash giving a relationship advice, and I just think that's key because as a company, they know that we need to be happy as humans, not just as coaches, in all aspects of our life, and how can we kind of help all aspects of our life, So let me check real quick and see if there's any questions before we move on to Brooke, and thank you so much, Erin.
You're welcome.
Okay, I don't see it there, so I'm hoping I'm not just missing them, because sorry guys, this is the first time we've done it this way. Okay, so I don't see any questions yet. All right, so I am now going to pass it to Brooke Griffin, and what I want to say before this is, you guys have seen 3 women, which, men are welcome on our team too. All 3 of us are moms, but, we have many women on our team who are not mothers, they're mothers to fur babies. But I also wanted to show Kristen, a very successful coach that founded this team with me, still working and creating this great second income that she's been able to help with her debt, and all the way to our stay-at-home moms who now they're creating a whole new source of income. So whether you need a secondary income to start saving like I did, that's the reason, I started as a coach, so I could start putting money away in savings and not live paycheck to paycheck. Or if you want to create a whole career for yourself, don't kind of pigeonhole these things. That's why I love all 3 stories. So Brooke Griffin, she's a very good friend of mine, and she is a diamond coach. She has 3 kids, and I still don't know how she does it all because she has an amazing blog. I think we all just watch her page for her recipes to come up, and I almost drove over to your house today for those peanut butter cups because they look delicious. But she's got 3 wild kids. She's a stay-at-home mom. She has a blog. She's a coach. Like she does all these things, and she fits it in because that's the best thing is that you can fit it in when you want to. So I'm just going to pass it over to Brooke so she can tell her story. Oh, Brooke, we can't hear you. Not sure why we can't hear you. Erin or Kristen, can you guys hear her?
No, I can't hear her.
Okay. Give us 1 second, guys. We're figuring it out. Oh,
shoot, can you hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yay. I guess my microphone wasn't turned on. Sorry about that. I guess it didn't need to be.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for asking me to talk on this. Jamie and I sort of go way back to before we had kids, and things change when you have kids, and you live this whole other life before kids, and it's all about just having fun with friends and football and bars and all this. And Jamie and I really connected way back when, so probably like 6-7 years ago, even more because my oldest is 6 now. But we stayed in touch over Facebook, and for 2 years I watched her post about her transformation with TurboFire, about Shakeology, and none of that actually resonated with me at all. I just didn't, it wasn't my mindset, it wasn't anything that I was really interested in. So we kept in contact, but it was one of those things where I sort of just kind of scrolled past her posts. Then I had Molly, no offense, but then I had Molly, and something changed. She was my 3rd. I was nursing the same as I was with the other 2, but the weight just wasn't falling off as quickly as it did before. And I just felt like I was tired. I had 2 kids now plus a newborn. I was exhausted. I just felt like I was just not even present. Like my kids would, you know, it would be the afternoon, and my kids, I would just beg them to take a nap so I could close my eyes. And I just knew that there had to be something more than what I was feeling. Like I just, you know, for a long time, I actually sort of just chalked it up to just being a mom. This is how I'm going to feel for the rest of my life, and this is just it. I'm a mom, and this is it. But then I just saw her post, and they finally started to hit me about just how happy she looked and how much fun she was having with her kids, and she just had so much energy. And I thought, I need to figure this out. So she actually posted about a sneak peek, which is sort of the expo that we just wrapped up. But when I was in it, it was 5 days. So she plugged me into the sneak peek, and I'm sure she was probably shocked that I even messaged her about it, because I never responded to any of her posts. I never liked them. I never commented. I just, all of a sudden, out of the blue, I was like, let me just figure out what this is. So she put me in the sneak peek, and by day 3, I think I messaged her, and I was like, I need this. Like, sign me up. Everyone in the group was so positive and nice, and just the energy of everyone that was in the group, whether they were you know, in it to find out more about coaching, or the coaches that had participated and were giving their information, I just felt like I just needed to be a part of it. So I sort of just did it. I mean, I literally jumped in, no questions asked. I said, I just want to do this. I need to be a part of it. And I think my husband was like, what are you doing? I don't understand it. It just seems like, you know, scheme or whatever. He's like, I don't really understand it, but if this is what you feel like you want to do, then let's just do it. So he was all behind, you know, he was all for the fitness part of it, and, you know, willing to give Shakeology and try and everything. But as far as like the coaching part of it, neither of us really understood it. I just knew I just wanted to be part of it. So really, like I said, jumped in, no questions asked. But I was plugged into our trainings. I started researching things out of our back office, and I really just started sharing my story on Facebook. And my story is sort of similar to Jamie's in the sense that I did everything wrong on Facebook. I posted like I was like, here, go to my site, just go. And I did everything wrong. And I have taught myself so much about social media over the past, it'll be 2 years in April that I've been a coach, that you know, there's so much information that we are given to help us in this business and to help us learn and grow in this business. But you also need to take time to sort of, you know, take time to do your personal development, but do that listening to podcasts on social media, or, you know, different things like that, just to help you grow as a coach, because it is, like Jamie said, a learned skill. And so I really kind of immersed myself in that, and learning a lot about social media. And my posts have drastically changed since I started. But, you know, really I just, like all of us, just started sharing my story on Facebook and asked people to join me and to show them what I was doing and how it was affecting me, and how I was feeling with Shakeology, and how my first program was T25 and the progress I was making with that. And it just seemed to resonate with a lot of people. And I, you know, hit my goal for the first month, and then build a momentum, hit my goal for the next month, hit my goal for the third month, and then earn my free ticket to Beachbody's Summit in Nashville, which you saw last year when we went over the summer. That was my first trip to our Beachbody conference, which is called Summit, and it was life-changing. I mean, if you sign up as a coach and you make it to Summit, you will be blown away, because not only are you, you know, just involved in all this stuff Beachbody, and it's amazing to work out with the trainers and stuff, but like Jamie said, the personal development that goes into it, and just the trainings that they have, and the speakers that they have that it's not just about Beachbody, it's not just about fitness, it's really meant to help you grow as a person too. So that was amazing. And I think honestly the best part about it was you actually meeting the people that you communicate through Facebook in person, because, you know, we have this big team page of people that I finally got to meet when we went to Nashville. And literally by the end of the week, we're crying, like, we don't want to leave, we don't want to leave each other, and we can't wait till next year when we see you again. So it's just, you know, these people have become my best friends, and it's just something that I absolutely needed in my life. And so glad I did it, because I had been a stay-at-home mom for 2 years when I signed up to be a coach. And it was something that my husband had always decided that this is what we're going to do. We want you to be a stay-at-home mom. I want to stay home with the kids. But it didn't come without sacrifice. I mean, there was a lot of sacrifices made. We cut, the things that we could cut as much as we possibly could, and there was stress, and there was, fights over money. And my husband, does very well in order for us to be able to have me stay at home, but still, it's just one of those things when you go from a 2-income family down to a 1-income family and you have 2 kids and then you add a third, it's stressful. So this has just helped so much, and I really am very blessed that Jamie has started on this journey and invited me along to it too. So I don't know. I mean, that's kind of my story. It'll be 2 years in April that I'll be a coach, and I feel like I'm starting to build sort of my own team now, and I have coaches that are working, and now they have coaches that are working, and it's all sort of coming together. It sort of takes a while, and it's not a get-rich-quick thing by any means. And I started off the same way that Erin said about start making $50 or $100 a week, and now it's growing to the point where last year there was like a month or two, and it was like a really busy time over summer, that I actually brought in as much as I did when I was working 40 plus hours a week retail. So that definitely was like, wow, just, kind of mind blowing. So definitely an amazing opportunity. I'm so glad I did it. So that's all.
Well, thank you. And I have to say, just like Brooke said, that's the craziest thing with Beachbody, is that it reconnects you with people from your past. People that I was friends with in high school, like Allison Peterson, I have to do a shout out. We hadn't seen each other. Her husband and I grew up next door to each other for years, since we were in kindergarten. And they just drove down from Auburn to our house, a few months ago, and got to hang out and meet my kids. And I just thought that was so special. These people from my past. Brooke, we lived a mile from each other, and until she messaged me, I hadn't seen you in years, and now I count you as one of my closest friends, so I really don't know what I'd do without that girl. So take away, when I look at why my life is so great right now, and you all saw my income post from earlier, I could say very easily, oh, it's because I'm making this great income now. But the truth is, it's the freedom, it's the friendships, and it's the happiness, the self-worth that I have now that I didn't have 4 years ago, the self-love that I have. I am completely myself and comfortable in my skin now, and I do owe that to Beachbody. And I owe them that I get this life where it's made me step outside my comfort zone and maybe talk to people that before I would have stayed in my shell and not even initiated a conversation. Now I want to know that person's story. I want to know what their passion in life is, and I just want to get to know people. And I think I had lost that, and I'd stopped trying to get to know people because I was literally just surviving each day. And I was just worried about my own happiness and how I was going to get my son to sleep so that I can have an hour off. That was my thinking every day. That was my goal, to get my son to bed early so I could have some time to myself. And now it's my kids, even yesterday, Grayson said, no, Mom, you do Beachbody. You don't eat sugar. It's these little things that he'll say that pop out of his mouth. So he's watching, and he comes in that room and, he sits next to me and plays Legos while I work out. So it's a family thing. I'm not doing this somewhere far away from them. I'm running my business, and I'm even doing my workouts when I don't get up in time in the morning with my family. I'm not having to drive to the gym and hire a sitter or take time away from them. It's a family activity. And that's another great thing is that, our trips, kids are always welcome. At the leadership trip, there were so many babies there. At Summit, sometimes there's kids there. On the Success Club trips, you'll see so many kids. So Beachbody really loves to see the families and see everybody doing it together. And I'm going to tell you guys, if you do have any questions, I was just informed reading the message, if you go click on the link, it'll direct you to YouTube. And then you click be a part of the conversation, and you can then log questions. So I see we have 17 viewers. Okay, so let me see. I don't see any questions popping up here. I'm going to check also if you guys have any questions for us. I will go to the Coach Expo, see if there's any questions here. Okay, good. I just see people saying that they see us. I know YouTube says comments disabled, but Yes, if you click on be a part of the conversation, it should take you to Google Plus and you can log questions. But no matter what, this will be recorded and I'm going to post it in the Expo. And I hope something struck a chord with you guys tonight. And last thing I'm going to talk about is my favorite thing, because I think I've got the teaching gene somewhere in me, even though I was never a teacher like Erin. But our coach training starts Monday, next Monday. So if you decide that this is right for you, we have a month-long training, and the group will start almost immediately because I have a couple, little to-dos for you to get your business going, start reading, and then we'll kick that off Monday. So I hope to see you in there. It is my passion to help you guys not make mistakes. This is not business. I've heard a lot of other MLM companies, you sign up and they just kind of throw you to the wolves and go figure it out. Well, that's not our motto. Our motto is we're here every step of the way. We're a team. We run challenge groups together. We do this together because I just don't think it's any fun to do it by yourself. So thank you guys so much for watching. I don't see any comments coming in. So good night. Thank you guys all for speaking tonight to my guest speakers. Thank you, ladies. And good night. I'll see you guys later.